Cheers, 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 cheers. Awesome, awesome. This is Nick Douglas, Adventures of a Sailor Girl at the Volvo Ocean Race base at the finish. An awesome one for you guys here in Gothenburg. Hey, Charlie?
Yeah, it was a good one for sure. Best of the race so far. Fitting, I think it was the last one for a team like ours. That it's improved so much along the way, and just happy to be here in Gothenburg in one piece.
Yeah, and I know you've been over-meteorised, and I'm sorry about that. But Will, you said that it was really great to sail with this team, the youngest race in this year's edition of the Volvo Ocean Race, and you're still going to hold that title, I reckon, until the start of the next one. Let's see if somebody can beat you. But how was it along the way? I mean, you're always growing and changing as a sailor. What's the biggest thing that you learned? I know you said a bit of fun in the media centre there, but skill level, did anyone bring anything to the team that you hadn't really thought about before?
I wouldn't say there was anything I hadn't seen before, but I would say that the skill levels were very, very high. Yeah. As Charlie also alluded to in the media centre, the only thing about this race is you don't know what you don't know, and so no matter how many times someone tells you, 10 days into the Southern Ocean you won't be able to feel your hands, you won't be able to feel your toes, you'll be completely exhausted, you'll be kind of scared. You can rationalise all that, but it's only when you actually put yourself in that situation that you go, okay, I get it now. And the photos don't do that justice.
They never do, and I think you said something just before about how you can't train really for the Volvo Ocean Race. Sailing's a really hard sport to train for, isn't it? Maybe people don't appreciate that.
It certainly is. I mean, you can, do offshore training sessions from, wherever you want to stage out of, but the reality is nobody ever trains by doing 27-day legs, and until you go experience that, it's going to be new for you, so the only way to learn is by doing. You can study up, bone up, do your homework, all that stuff, but until you actually go and experience it, you're a rookie. That's the deal.
So would you say to other people that the only way they can experience and maybe get the experience to go to a Volvo Ocean Race is just to keep doing offshores, or are there going to be other opportunities for young guys to get involved through something like Alva Medica? What do you think?
We were kind of just touching on that as well. I mean, the Volvo Ocean Race is full of complete sailors, so it's the offshores, it's the inshores, it's the dinghies, it's it's just a boat, and fast sailors win. But, there is a completeness that comes with Volvo sailors, the ability to sail anywhere on the boat, understand how the systems work, all that good stuff. So, there's no right or wrong way to train. You see people come from a single-handed background, you see people come from an Olympic background, and what you end up with is a team of all sorts. So, I think it's just capitalizing on the opportunities that you're afforded, trying to, make all the opportunities that you can materialize, and just basically making the most of them. You gotta go.
I used to have a say yes model, so if someone asked me to go sailing, I'd say yes, no matter what it was.
Yeah, generally. I mean, you're always better for going than for sitting at home, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's a couple of other things I'd add to that. One is that the boats have such a small number.
Just got Justin jumping in taking photos. Hi there.
The crew numbers are so small that you have to bring another skill set to the table. So it's no good just being a sailor. You've got to be the sailmaker, or you've got to be the electronics or the hydraulics guy. And so for people trying to get into it, make sure that you've got another feather to your cap. Are you a medic? Are you something that people need on board? And finally, in the end, these boats are about trimmers and drivers. It's no good if you're on the best boat in the world as a grinder, because we're all grinders, but we can all be made stronger and fitter in the gym, but it's not easy to make a better trimmer and driver. And so you're better off as a young sailor, I reckon, sailing on a boat where you're getting a chance to trim and drive than you are being on the best boat as the grinder, because the boat name doesn't mean anything, it's what you're good at.
Yeah, I guess that's interesting, because a lot of people say to you, would you rather be the worst sailor on the best boat or be a multi-skilled person on a lower level boat? So you think the other way around, maybe?
Yes, and I think that you're better off if you can find mentors that, like Husty, for instance, would be able to name his mentors that he uses to learn about trimming. And even going around the world, he'll go and speak to them and say, oh, this is what I'm doing. And it's the same with the driving. If you can learn from someone who's the best at your craft and get an opportunity occasionally to sail with them, say as a trimmer, as the offside trimmer, or as a downwind helmsman, that's where you're going to get better and better. Unless you're doing those jobs, it's going to be very hard to find a spot for you in a Volvo team.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess there's a bit of advice that we have to take not lightly from Mr. Will Oxley. He said Alva Medical would improve and improve and improve, and it continued to do so. I know you guys want to go again. Would you like to go again with this one?
With this guy? Yeah, of course. I mean, we're not here to pump each other's tires.
No,
but,
I know that,
you
but
know, you can.
frankly.
No, yes, of course. We can. Many people debate, who the best navigator in the world is. And
We
all
don't
that
have to
stuff.
say who's the best
No.
sometimes.
And that bit's probably a waste of breath. But, for us and for our team, Will was certainly great. I mean, he bestowed a ton of knowledge. He, took it on. He's a teacher. He's the most prepared navigator in the world, I'll tell you that. And, he does things the right way. And if we picked up half of what he tried to, teach us, I think we're in a much better place for it.
Yeah, so I know you put a lot of work into choosing the crew. You chose him for those reasons?
Well, I mean, just
with everyone else?
a story.
The others weren't available.
Well, a story that I like to tell, which is pretty funny, is that the first time we sailed together, halfway across the Atlantic Ocean, he basically put together a Word document of homework, for me to do before the race started, and I remember getting into it straight away. Here we are using Adrena as our primary means of navigation software, and he had me reading the manual less than a year ago. So. That's how he operates, and I think if everybody operated a little more like that, they'd be a much more prepared and polished sailor, certainly.
Potentially, yeah, but I think just jump into the frame. Will, I've lost you off the side. His coffee's pulling him over there. But that said, you had a lot of homework to do, but not many people implement what people give them to do,
Yeah, the role of navigation has shifted dramatically, and you need to be... you need to have the traditional skills, but you also need to be able to process information at a very high level. It's not the accuracy at which you can do things now is so much greater, and you need to be able to multitask across a whole lot of things. So you've got to be able to A, keep the boat safe, but B, where's the competition, and C, what's going on with the weather, and you're juggling all of those things at the same time. And when you're most concentrating on what's going on with the opposition, you've got to remember that actually you've still got to keep the boat safe.
And then you have a skipper who's willing and open to learn and do everything that you've asked him to. That's pretty awesome.
Well, he has the mental capacity to do all of those things and more, and it was pretty impressive.
He's not pumping you up or anything.
No, sometimes. Like I said, it's in a stroke fest.
He does sleep a bit.
That's right.
It clearly taxes him.
That's right.
Yeah, awesome. He's got a high mental capacity, but it requires lots of
High
batteries.
functioning.
No, that's awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me, guys, and it's really nice to see you have a win here. I did go sailing with you in Auckland, and you were saying to me all the time, we've got the capacity, and it's. I hope you have a really good finish as well, because I know it's going to come down to the wire for you guys. And I did ask the question inside, what means more, the overall or the import series? But I hope maybe you get to come away with both and things go your way.
There's the answer.
Yeah. Can I make that happen? I'll just wiggle my fingers and.
Yeah. I mean, I think you never know how these things are going to pan out, but if we have an opportunity to go for broke or to ensure that we lock up fourth, I suspect that we'll ensure that we lock up fourth, because in the end, the import series, no one will remember what happened.
Well, no one likes to sell anyone off the course, and I hope you don't get put in that situation, but all the best to you.
Thanks.
No worries. Yay! We're done. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
It's over the beaches from now on.